Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz on November 24, 2015, 3:11 a.m. Birmingham. Topic: the experts are saying that we have entered into World War III. It has begun. And Avi Lipkin, he is one of those, just one, that is saying that we have entered World War III. I did a blog recently on some think tank guys, some Jason guys, and then there's other think tanks around the world. They advise governments, our government, and the others for their government, different things. And one of them, the war has begun. And among others, that we have a huge crash on its way. James Reichard going around talking to countries and advising these countries on what to do beforehand to prepare for a world monetary collapse. And that's Wall Street. It'll get chopped down from near 18,000 to probably 8 or 9,000. But they're saying he cannot see it going beyond December 31st this year. Then others are saying that they have had visions, and in dreams they see around the March period. They said the first part of March, and I believe that March. I've heard that multiple times, even a year ago. Russia build-up continued. They have enough there to fight the whole Middle East. And in France, still having not mock runs, I'm sorry, they're having sorties. And that's continuing. Russia and France side by side trying to hit ISIS. I'm going to tell you why they're hitting them so hard right now. They're headed for, ISIS is headed for Damascus. So what's the big deal about that? Remember when Assad killed his own people with gas, sarin gas, and other kinds of gas? Well, the gas is stored, a lot of it, in Damascus. They cannot let ISIS get that gas. Not even the bad guys can't let ISIS get that gas. If they get into the city and there's no other way to get them out, then they will remove Damascus off of the map. Remember, the Bible says Damascus will become a ruinous heap, oldest city in the world that people still live in, will disappear overnight and never be inhabited again. That may be really the reason that Damascus will go. Keep your eyes on them, watch them. I mean, because you can tell if they get there, then just plug your ears because it's going to happen. Iran, they're having mock war games all by themselves, and they have built a small town to practice in that resembles and almost exactly like the Dome of the Rock. And their games is taking the Dome of the Rock. But anyway, that's what they're doing. So they are preparing to go after it. And on the way, of course, Israel is their target. It's not the Dome of the Rock. Oklahoma, earthquakes. This year, Oklahoma alone will have had more earthquakes than the rest of this country, just in Oklahoma, including California. So something's happening there. Something's going to happen. There's a road in California that goes from Highway 1 east to a town. I wish I'd written it down, but I didn't. They've closed it because the road is there's like something underneath pushing up, and it's just lifted the road up, just ripped it to pieces. Remember that bridge in Tacoma, Washington years ago that got to waving, and finally just blew apart and dropped into the water. This is what the road did. It just raised up, buckled, twisted, and just came apart. They don't know what's under it yet. It shut down. Mount Shasta, they're fearing a volcanic eruption in Mount Shasta. And not only that, they're fearing one from Mount St. Helens. There's 3 different lava domes in Mount St. Helens right now. One sits at the edge of where the previous one blew out several years ago. One is just to the west of that by maybe half a mile, but there's one under those 2 that's 50 times their size. Can you imagine 50 times the damage or more from the last eruption? That'd put part of this country in the dark, and it would cut the sunlight out by 10 or 15% for a year, or maybe 2 years. That city, you can find that easy enough. You look up for the road bubbling up. Okay, this one you need to hear. I told you James Reichard said there's a monetary collapse coming. His date's December 31st this year. Others say first part of March 2016. It'll be one of the 2, in my opinion. But here's what might lead you to think that this may well be the truth. You remember when Greece closed its banks year and a half ago? Just closed one day, and nobody could get money. They went broke. They didn't have any money. Didn't have it in the banks. You can put it in, but you can't get it out. So finally, they got some help from the IMF and International Monetary Fund, but in the World Bank, and but that was a temporary help. That's going to happen again. People are allowed to get on small amounts of money, and even in this country, if you get $10,000 or more, you're reported to the federal government. They want to make sure you're not in some kind of illegal activity by taking so much money out. But it's coming that you can't take money out. And it may get down as bad as Greece, $250, $300. Well, it's happened last week. It's happened in 2 towns in California. People couldn't get their money out. Only the people that had a lot of money got what they asked for. The rest of the people would have to sell for much smaller amounts. And in Birmingham, Alabama, I may as well go ahead and tell you, I know of someone that's very close to me, really close. Had to really bitch and moan about getting money out of the bank. So it's happening here. 10,000 is out of the question. 8,000 is pushing your luck. They're looking at smaller amounts, 1 to 3,000. Guys, we're entering into some really bad times. And I just, these are the top right now of what I have. And I believe me, I got more, but this just kind of all popped up in the last 2 days. Be prepared, and pray about it. Jody Wolf Expoz.